a lot of energy here right now. I got here triggered. Um, so I don't know how to even articulate my questions at this point. So, but I just want to put myself out there. So
Hey, cool.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you something in a second. I just want to make a comment. Rachel said it is like a defense mechanism. It is absolutely a defense mechanism. If I always believe that life is shit, then when it is shit, I won't be upset about it.
Mm, I resonate with that belief.
And I had that too. That's a
Yeah.
really good point, Rachel. And it is very true. Absolutely true. What's triggering you right now, Pete?
Well, I'm in a 10-week container, and I don't like the way it was handled. I was invited to get into my emotions, and I did, and rage came up that kind of took me over. And the feeling I get is this person isn't uh, he wasn't equipped to handle that, but he invited it,
Hmm.
and I kind of felt very exposed, and then I was cut down in the middle of it. So and now he wants to talk about it, but he
How were you cut down?
well, I mean, I was in the middle of my thing, whatever it was, expressing, and he goes, "Well, that's enough for now," and it's like, well,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is cut
yeah.
down.
So it was like, it was like I almost feeling of just like, well, here everything's welcome here, and then when it came out, it wasn't welcome, and I got shut down right in the middle of it. So if there's a nervous system that needs to complete, it didn't.
Right.
And now he I asked him to delete the video. He goes, I don't have time right now. And so I'm thinking, as a teacher, I'm your student, but I look back at it and my I've been outsourcing, what do I do? I'm looking for guidance and I'm looking in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
So like finding finding you guys is like a breath of fresh air, but I don't even know where the window is that it's coming through. It's um so and that's core belief. It's like, one of my core beliefs is the world sucks. People suck.
Hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I love animals so much is because they don't. They're just all they do is love and compassion, and that's a big trigger for me too because they suffer unneedlessly, just like I guess we do. But yeah, so there's a lot going on, man. You can probably feel that, and I'm scared and I'm confused and I'm just glad to be, I guess be receiving that truth IV or whatever. That's the only way I know how to kind of describe it. Um, I'm
Yeah.
here. I don't know how I got here. I'm glad I did, and I'm just soaking it in as much as I can. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to look at my beliefs. I'm finding that out now, and it's and I'm overwhelmed by how much work I got to do. You know,
Yeah,
so
I get it. I had the same feeling about people. And in some ways they're still there. I see the other side now and I've seen seeing what we all are, whatever, but the actual algorithm still prefers to be alone. I still am kind of a loner. For me to do what I've been doing the last 3 months is pretty insane from Tony's point of view a few years ago.
well,
If I had told myself 15 years ago, they'd be like, yeah, right. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The thing I want to say to you mainly at the beginning too, that because you're newer, and I said this a few times before, but you weren't here yet. My big thing is insight and beliefs. I'm really good at that, and I like doing that. Shadow work, I like talking about shadow stuff, and I can hold any. I'm not afraid of any emotion or anybody's emotion, but as far as somatic or being a true shadow work person, I'm not that person. So I just want you to know that right up front, which I've already told people. I can work with people, stuff like that, and I'm not bad at it. I'm learning how to do it better as I go. But there are plenty of people out there that are way better at that than I am. So I basically just defer to Angelo's people that because they're the only people I know that do that. So if you're ever interested in that, there are much
Well,
better people for
I
that than
do.
me.
I've met with Josh a couple times, but I'm more cerebral, more mental.
Yeah.
And I think if you address the beliefs, the shadow work takes care of itself, in my point of view.
In some ways, you're right, but you also have to feel those emotions. Do you think
Right.
you repress your emotions?
Oh God. Well, I feel like well, yeah, yeah, because I mean, I'm
Yeah.
afraid of that rage. He's
Right.
like, well, you said this and you did that, is what he was just telling me. And I'm like, dude, he goes, well, you need to hold accountability for yourself. I'm like, oh man, is this dynamic going to happen now with a teacher? I'm like, I'm like, I don't know what I did. How could I mean, the emotion took me over, man. I
Yeah.
said, I'm willing to apologize, but I don't even know what I did at this point,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
you need to get away
So
from that shit. That's some bad stuff right there. You get
yeah,
out of
so I guess my intuition is on the money, you know, but then my head gets in there and says, well, no, maybe it's me because my upbringing is, well, what's wrong with Peter? What's wrong with Peter? You shouldn't feel that way. You should, that's what I've been programmed with. So,
There will always be a part of it that is you, no matter what, no matter who you're dealing with. So you can accept that right away
yeah,
because if you ever completely blame someone else, then you're definitely avoiding. You know what I mean? Everybody does that. Um,
right. So that's kind of what he's doing to me, but I'm so used to taking that in and making that my problem.
yeah.
you know. So it's like so I'm listening to you guys going, well, do I even want to talk to him? Or because I'm not going to get into a shooting match with somebody. He's the facilitator. He should be listening to me, not accusing me of stuff.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Accusing you is probably not a good idea.
no. So it's and there's so much of that in the marketplace. It's like, well, I've had a little peek, and I'm going to teach people, and there's a you can really screw somebody up, you know,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm backing off from helping anybody because I'm not, I need to help myself right
I understand I understand the rage and the defensive and the anger. I was, definitely that way a lot. I totally get that.
now. Mm-hmm.
I also know that when you're starting to really look at this stuff and emotions first start coming up, the self's claws will come out. So you could feel one thing I want you to be aware of that happened with me is that when you start feeling the emotion you've never felt that's repressed, especially if it's rage, you're going to get very, especially as a man, you're going to get very like fight. I mean, most dudes, not all dudes, but I think you're one of those dudes because I'm one of those dudes and I can tell. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to get very claws come out. Fuck you. I'm ready to fight. Let's
Oh yeah,
go. Yeah, I know that. I'm that way. I've been that way
yeah.
before.
My body can't do it anymore. I'm almost 60.
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
But when that comes up, there's no me there. It's just that the rage takes over, man.
Yeah.
So it's
This is what I think. This is my advice for you right now. I think you should be in this group and I think you should work on the insight and the beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And whatever comes up emotion wise in the moment, I will be able to handle it. I'm not may not be the best pointer you've ever heard, but I can handle it. But I think a really good thing for you would be to get a somatic person or a shadow work person who is female, not a
mm,
man. And I think you should lean into her feminine energy and let her, whoever that is, Angela has a couple really good ones. I know people here. Put it in the chat, y'all, whoever you think is good for that. And take those names and consider it at least. I think a good counterbalance to the way you are right now would be a female teacher who has a nurturing feminine energy who also knows what the hell they're doing with the somatic work and can really guide. I think that's what you will make the most progress the fastest.
I,
And then you're
I,
also here looking at your inquiries, looking at your beliefs. Um,
that
and
kind of brings up a lot of emotion because that's so missing from my life.
right, I
You
understand
know,
it. I've
My
been
mom
right through it.
died. She passed when I was 11 years old, and the evil stepmother came in.
Yeah. You're older than me by 10 or 15 years, but the men growing up, Gen X and before Gen X, we all were like, be strong, just deal with anything, don't solve the damn problem and shut the hell up. And in some ways, that's not bad advice. There is a bit of a buck up to this life you also have to do. But the men, especially, and women, I'm just talking from my perspective because I am a man. We had to we had to bear that burden no matter what, and it was just expected. And it's a belief system we all grew up with, and it was major impactful, especially, from when stuff happens to when we were young, as did you and as did me. And I think from where you're at right now, I think that's the next best step is to really lean into that and then work with your inquiries and stuff here. And like I said, if something comes up emotionally here, I ain't got no problem handling it either. But as far as pointing and really getting you where you need to go, there are far better specialists than me out there.
Yeah.
My
Well,
strength is insight and beliefs, and I won't
yeah.
I won't pretend that I know it all, that I can do it all. I know what worked for me and I do it, but that's not everybody's not me, and I'm not trained in the way they are to look at, maybe someday I will be, I don't know. But
I just let the group know I'm in North Carolina. I'm in Waynesville. I think I caught a couple chats saying San Francisco circling. I would love to go that. I'm on disability. I can't.
mm,
It's just not in my. It's not possible. So if anybody knows anybody in my area or close by, uh,
you can do it online too.
oh, you can.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
It will
stay.
it will be online. Most
Okay.
most most for any kind of one-on-one, it will probably be online. And that'll be fine. You can totally do it online.
All right. Well, I mean, if you
Um,
can, it's but I don't know. You know where I'm at. I don't know what my my process is going to look like at this point. I don't know. So
I
yeah,
think I think because we just started talking and I haven't delved into your beliefs enough about you yet. Um, I think that's your very first great move is to get the female somatic person or shadow work person and then work on the other stuff here. And then whatever comes up, we can handle totally. We all handle it together. And but the fact that when I brought that up, you had a ton of emotion comes up, it means that
yeah.
little boy in you really wants to let that out, but
Well,
he hasn't been allowed to. And me telling
well,
you that and giving you that permission brought that up really fast.
yeah.
And I think that's great.
I was such a mama's boy.
Yeah.
you know, I
I
mean, you
was
look,
too till about
yeah,
ninth grade, and then I
yeah.
wasn't.
And boy,
Um,
I tell you, the beliefs that formed around that, pretty dark stuff. Oh, I got kicked out of heaven. I'm being punished.
I heard all that stuff.
Yeah,
My mom told me 6 months ago that I was going to hell,
yeah,
and I just laugh at it now. It's hilarious.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but one thing about that I want you to know is that dark and powerful stuff can feel very solidified and believable. But I tell you what, ultimately, it is truly empty. It is just a formulation of beliefs and ideas that are like a patchwork of energetic beliefs, but they're not, like I just told Annie, those kind of things can change and shift immediately, very quickly. And sometimes they don't, and they take time because you believed them for a long time. But don't ever have the idea that it's solid and then that's the way it is, because there is no way it is. And that's one of the key realizations about this stuff is there is no way that it is. And you are the power before Pete, that field that allows everything. That's what you really are. And all this other stuff is not solid. It is an appearance and it can be appeared and unappeared. So don't believe that that's just the way it is. That's a belief that can be very solidifying. That's a view, actually, that can be very solidifying and can keep you grounded in that forever.
yeah,
So I'm trying to dislodge that. And, in that way, you do have to trust me. But, you know, in in another way, it's very brave, one, for you to show up and put yourself out here to people you don't know very well yet. And that's exactly what I want this group to be. And that's exactly why I'm going to be downsizing this group very soon because I'm not I mean, I like donations and I like one-on-ones and I like all that stuff, but I'm not doing this for money. I mean, it's appreciated because of the time I put in, but I'm not doing it for money, and I'm not trying to grow 1,000 people in my thing. I'm trying to do, even if it's 10 people who really want to do it, that's what I want. That gives me the juice. I got 40 people who don't want to do it. I'm not interested. But the fact that you showed up and that you're talking about it in the beliefs and now you're doing Telegram to me shows me that you really want, you've suffered enough and now you want it to change.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that knows that all, there's this is stuff, I'm not so conscious of it, but something's pulling me around. I mean,
Of course, it's your beliefs.
well,
It's your
yeah,
views and beliefs and assumptions about the world that's pulling you around.
well, that's kicking me around.
Yeah, yeah,
Something's
yeah.
pulling me
It
I
feels that
mean,
way with the certain views. It feels that way,
the way
but
your last paragraph there was music to my ears because I'm tired of people who are in it for money that don't have anything to offer, you know,
yeah.
and that causes so much damage, man.
Oh yeah, it does for sure.
And if I got the money, I don't have a problem, but you better, show me some results because
Hmm.
that's just a resentment. I mean, I've paid fifteen
There,
hundred
there.
dollars.
I know exactly what you mean, and I also there's two things that is really important. One is truly, ultimately, though, it is on you to take responsibility for your own beliefs and views, because I or anybody else cannot be inside of there and know. And
Right,
we have our own lives to lead as well, and we have our own problems. So, but I know what you mean, and what you told me about it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. I understand that totally. And
right.
another thing I want to tell you is while you're working on this stuff, watch out for that defensive, protective, grabby, fuck you, you're not doing, just watch for that because I had the same thing, and that can blind you and it can make you crawl back into a protective shell and say, it can be a defense mechanism too. Like,
What?
oh, I
Yeah,
don't want to, oh, this person is this, so I'm going to crawl back in here and be protective.
right.
You're not going to change that way. And it'll hurt. And sometimes you're going to really want to do it. But I just want you to be aware of it so you can see it happening and be like, oh, that's what that is. The mere
Well,
fact of
there's
noticing that's what that is will release some of that right then.
well, some of I'm not clear exactly what you're saying, but some of me just wants to cut him off. But you're saying move forward and walk through it.
I'm talking about in any part of life. I'm not
Okay,
just him. I'm not talking about him specifically.
all right.
I'm just talking about the knee jerk. You have a knee jerk. It's repressed emotion. The repressed emotion creates a defense mechanism with thoughts and words and actions that says, "Get the fuck away from me. I'm not touching this." Or you're wrong. You're this. Just watch out for that knee jerk protection because it's there and it's there for me too. So
Yeah.
you have to watch out for that.
Okay.
And it was built into us. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You know what I mean? You're not to blame for that stuff at whatsoever, 100%. But the reality is now as an adult person, we are 100% responsible for changing it or we stay in the loop and
Right.
people do it and they live and die that way. But if you're here and you don't want to do that, and it is intense here, I'm an intense person and I will remain that way. It's how I'm
Well,
built and I like it and I don't want to change.
I'm pretty intense.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
most,
but
most of
that type of intensity that we both have in presence, if you can relegate it to presence and keep it there, you can change your shit and you can do it pretty quick.
yeah.
But that's the earnestness. It has the earnestness has to build that fire and it has to stay. If you go, oh, I'm just gonna go do that, that's back into the shell. And people do it all the time. I see people do it all the time. That's fine. Maybe they come back around, maybe they don't.
Hmm.
That's not my problem. I can do just the best that I can do. But I am here and I am doing it for whoever wants to do it.
Well,
And
I'm
you want
here.
to do it, I can tell.
Yes.
So
And
my two quick ones at the beginning is get the help and do it with a female. You won't have that antagonistic relationship with
right.
someone if it's a man who hasn't dealt with that shit.
Yeah.
He his boundaries will be fucked up and weird because he's
Yeah.
defensive himself. A female, most females are not going to be that way, especially a trained somatic person. Now I've seen some people already put the great stuff in the chat, so look at that and write it down and
I
figure out who
just
works
saved it.
best for you.
Yeah.
Look into them, read their websites, figure out who feels energetically right for you, and go to that person. And you can also ask Angelo if there's any more. You can email his website, and somebody will email you back about it.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm in touch with Josh, so I'll email him. He's worked with me to get me, you know, he knows my financial situation. He's, helping out. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yep, good advice. Thank you. Yeah.
Lisa's Inside Circle, Weekly Inside Circle. That's a really good one too. And that's free.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
and
check that out for sure.
those guys know, they're the ones that work inside Folsom Prison. They know how to handle rage. These are your people. I'm telling you right now. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not a great idea to work with a female to get some female energy in you, but you need to get that male energy out. You need to be with people that know how to deal with that really tough stuff. If that's
Yeah.
what,
He said
I've
he
seen
couldn't
the
afford it though.
documentary, The Work. I've seen it twice. Yeah.
okay, well, that's
Yeah.
Rick Meissner's in that work in that documentary. He's your man. Anyway,
Okay.
give it a try, and that's free. That's Zoom. They meet twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays or something like that. Anyway, it's all there.
Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah.
And man, more power to you for being willing to face this stuff. You'd be amazed that work is really transformative in a way that's not completely understandable. But yeah,
Well, I'm ready to experience it. I don't have to explain it, but I'm ready to live it. Yeah. So thank you guys. Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah.
I think it's Jack, right? I think he's next. You're muted still, Jack. I don't know if you're trying to talk or not. Doesn't work? Oh, okay. Well, come back to us. Joanna,
Okay.
oh, there you are.
Oh,
Okay.
hey.
Okay,
Hi,
cool.
everyone. Sorry about that. My phone is very broken, so I think the screen freezes every once in a while.
Hmm.
Let me just put you back on my lamp, which holds the phone. Um, yeah, thanks for sharing, everyone. It's kind of like I have my hand up, and then everyone keeps going, and then sometimes it's hard for me to keep track of what I wanted to say with all the new good stuff. I'm definitely interested in the
You raised it when Annie was talking, so there was something about what Annie said
right.
that made you.
I think one of the uh, one of them was wanting to share with Tony about something that happened last night that was really interesting. That was almost a combination of what had happened when I talked with you at the retreat, and then something that happened when I talked with Sam.
Hmm.
Then the other thing was my thoughts about it seems like the confusion that arises with like as sensation comes up in the body, and it seems like especially for the men, the like the story building process that happens.
Hmm.
But um I guess I'll start with the first thing, which was what happened last night, where I got really uncomfortable. I'm I'm not really I've have a belief that I'm not very good at like visions. Like there's not a lot of memory. It's just the sensation.
Yeah.
But this was some it wasn't massively uncomfortable. I don't get any kind of sensation that is huge or terrible, but it almost feels like because it's buried. And then I had a memory that I've never had before of being like a little kid, like really small.
Hmm.
And I think my parents were like laughing at me, like they didn't understand me.
Hmm.
And I've always had this deep held belief about like I'm alone. Like I got to do
Hmm.
this all on my own. Like I literally my whole life is like, how am I going to survive? I need to
That's
go
me.
out and
That's me too.
I need to find a piece of land and I need to start farming. And that every time I engage in civilization, I was like, this is not going to help me survive. I think I'm just going to get consumed by this process that we call civilization. And I always have a bailout plan.
Mhm.
Um, and I was using the Luminate, and there was this, it was like bad thoughts, and I was like, okay, like let's try work on like this aloneness, and it flashed away, and I did some visualizations to try and like let that aloneness break up, and then for whatever reason, that memory of me being a little kid feeling completely unseen by my mom, and I was looking down on myself, and I was like so young, and I was just losing it. Like I was just crying in that like that drooling, like gasping, like just completely um desperate for someone to come hold me, but not having anyone to do that. And even though she did come, I like remember pushing her away. Like it was just like I was despondent. It was like no one,
Yeah.
and I had like in that vision, I like crawled away to a corner and I was just sobbing, like on my side completely. And I know from when I was a little kid that that would happen a lot.
Mm.
But in when I was watching that, I started crying a bunch from seeing the suffering of the little kid. But I also realized like this feeling was fading, and I knew that I was jumping away from the feeling by observing and crying with the kid. And then I felt like I went at that point, because with Sam, I had noticed I'm in my mind observing the feeling. Like I can't, like there's always this like separation thing. So then I went into like the little kid, like I felt like I fell into the body, and then this went crazy.
Mm.
And this was like the fucking first heartbreak of my life.
No,
Like
nice.
that moment of like no one loves me, no one's here for me. Like like to be so young and to carry that, and it was just like realizing, yeah, then I was able to not be in the vision, not creating the story about what this means, and it just all of a sudden started coming, and then for like an hour, like this just got more and more and more and more, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
and
I'm about to say that's like really great shadow
and
work right
so
there.
yeah, because I've
Yeah.
been like, where's the I can trigger, I've been able to trigger this stuff, but I've never had the, I had no fucking clue what it's about. And then to have it be a thought process, a memory that I've never had before, and then to get caught up in it, and then as I'm crying about it, like to realize like, oh, I can drop in, and it was because I could see on on the baby's, like the little boy's face, that it was this. It wasn't even crying. It was like that breathless, like eyes closed, like scream that happens like when you've just, when everything has come out, and and it was realizing that I had to drop in and feel that rather than be sad about how much that hurt them.
Mm. Right.
Yeah. Um, so that was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. What before you keep
uh,
going, what I don't want to lose the thread of what I was thinking.
yeah.
So talking to you at retreat and then talking to you some more on the group and then doing the one-on-one with you and the stuff we talked about in there. I think I think maybe before retreat or a while before that or whenever when I think you've been disassociated a bit for a while because when we
I think my
talked,
whole life.
yeah, we started you started feeling the emotions at the retreat you never felt before with the TRE and all the stuff me and you talked about at the retreat. And then when we talked later, you would tell me things like, "Oh, I don't really have any thoughts." When you started feeling things in the one-on-one, you're like, "I don't really have thoughts. They're not really that." Da, 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 da. That's dissociation too. You're just like fucking numbing. I'm not feeling and I'm not thinking. I'm just gonna walk through life and
Hmm.
be back here.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I've been
So
like, why am I here?
yeah. So
Like I
this
haven't been
this
able to
stuff
figure out.
this stuff you're doing like is incredible work for someone who's been dissociated. You're doing the opposite
Mhm.
now, and you're gonna run into all kinds of stuff. And when you said you talked to Sam, I don't remember exactly what you said, but you said something. You said something that made me think. You were talking about you said a lot of stuff. So you were talking
Yeah,
about
sorry.
thinking and then going down in, but what came up for me then was you were using thought sort of as a protection, and then you realized you weren't, and then you went down. So I wanted you to be aware of that, that you were aware of
Mhm.
that, and then you dropped it, and then you went down. And so then you were allowing you were doing the work with the kid. I mean, that's like you were doing like parts work kind of. And they call it, there's something else they call it with working with your inner child. I don't know what it is, but you were you were doing that as well. I mean, that's really good. It's really good.
Cool.
Yeah. So what I want to ask you is when you were doing the Luminate and then you were doing the thoughts came in about the child and you figured out that belief, that core belief, which is super important. And then it sounds like you were able to bring it into right now, into this field presence, and then look at it. And you said then you got it like really explosive right here. What happened right after that?
Mhm. Um,
Did you, I mean, were you able to
uh,
sit with that? Did it make you cry? Did you have emotional release or was it just energetic or what was it like?
no, I I cry when I'm caught in the like thought process about what this is. Like that's when I start crying. But the minute I like locked in on this sensation, it just became like a thing like that. And at that point I was like, okay, just like I tried the just like Shinkantaza.
Hmm.
I was like, just be with it. Like don't even try to translate it. Don't try to make it go anywhere. Just I was just kind of stoked that this was a new
Yeah.
thing that was happening. I was like, cool,
Okay.
like let's let you play out. But it was I knew at some point it was like this is the heartbreak. This
Yeah.
is kind of like the broken heartedness that like, you know, a couple times in my life that like, yeah, when I get heartbroken, like that's it. Like everything just falls apart. And it was just kind of realizing like that this was some deeper thing that just keeps getting ripped open
Now, I want to tell you
at that
something a
point.
little bit counterintuitive, just slightly.
Okay.
When you're feeling that, and then you said you allowed the thoughts about the child to come in, and then you were crying, and then you realized you weren't feeling enough or whatever, and you felt that, and then that went away. I want you to try to infuse both at the same time now, because you for so long haven't been allowing thoughts to be around. So when you bring the
I
inner
did
child
work
in,
that.
yeah,
I did work that
good,
because
good,
when
good,
this
good.
would phase, I would be like, oh shit, and then I would kind of try to bring myself back into the memory to cry,
Yeah.
but I
Okay, good.
wouldn't. But then, yeah, like I
Just try
was,
try to do this instead of bringing yourself into the memory. Try to bring the
yeah,
memory into the field with the sensation
right,
and allow them
okay,
both to be there at the same time. So when you cry, like if you stop crying, of course, naturally there may be a point where you stop crying. Yeah, obviously you don't cry forever, but
right,
you may be holding back a little bit of what wants to come out more
okay,
by focusing too much on the sensation. I know it's
right.
counterintuitive because everybody says focus on the sensation, but since you've never allowed the thoughts,
Mm.
just play with that back and forth. And when you start to cry, try to go deeper into that and release more, whether it's rage or it's crying or whatever it is, try to
It's
release that
just
more and
this.
more.
It's like a despair. It's just like a deep loneliness.
Yeah.
Like it's just this
Just,
like
but
I'm
I'm saying when you start to cry and
yeah,
then it stops really quickly, look for the
right,
block there that's saying, no, I can't cry or I can't cry anymore. Do you maybe
right.
have a belief that says, I got to stop crying or I'm crying too much or anything like that? Look for
Oh
something
yeah, for
like,
sure.
yeah, that's a belief, that's a protection. So try to
Hmm.
allow both to be there at the same time. I know it's a little weird.
Hmm.
Just allow
It's
what wants to
basically
come in to think about because you never allowed it before.
yeah. Yeah, it's always don't make a scene. Even when I was young, I'd never cried around anyone.
Well,
I would always run.
make a fucking scene in your life
All
right now.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make a scene in your experience, and the field can handle the scene. It can handle making a
Hmm.
scene because you are that. So,
And it was really nice what everyone said about like the somatic finding like what you said about finding a lady somatic person.
mm,
Because I have a lovely lady visiting me from Spain and she does
mm,
like Reiki and she was
oh,
with me when that happened and she was able to just like
nice.
be there. and it was just really nice. So like when it ended, I just had someone to hug, and I just fell
Oh,
asleep.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
What
yeah.
when she did
So
that
that
to
was
you? I don't know too much about Reiki, but when she did that to you, what happened then?
it just I think I haven't been well supported by like women in my life. And, like a
Mm,
lot of that's like the like just hold your shit together, right? Like when you start to if you start to get angry or start to cry, like they just kind of pull away. Was always kind of the way it worked out in my life. So it was just
mm.
really nice to have someone just like put their hand out, and
Is she
she's
still
working
there?
on all her. Yeah, she's upstairs having a coffee,
Okay, cool.
and
If
it was
how long is
nice
she gonna
just to
be
have
there?
that. 2 more weeks.
If she's willing, man, I'd
Yeah,
make use of that time.
right.
If you
Yeah,
can go
we're
back
both
into that
doing.
and you can feel the
Yeah.
crying and she can be there and sort of not role play your
Hmm.
mother or anything, but kind of like allow you a feminine energy there to express that crying and that hurt and all that good stuff. And she knows what she's
Hmm.
doing. And man, if I was you, I'd use the shit out of that if she'd let you.
Cool.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'd
Yeah.
get
She
that.
was.
I'd cry and I'd get as deep into that rage or worthlessness or whatever it is that your mom made you feel. I'd get in deep in that
Mhm.
and allow that stuff to come up and let her do whatever she's doing. And then the
Okay.
hugging
Perfect.
afterwards, all that good stuff, if she's willing, that's awesome. I would definitely, ask her and she'll know, she'll probably know already. It'll be a lot. It could be a lot, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's cool.
No, she already said she was really happy to help, and
Mm.
she was having her little visions and stuff of it and everything. So we went immediately to Chat GPT. I was like, I wonder what that imagery
Well, look
meant.
how, I mean, think about how amazingly reality set up for you to have another piece of reality there with that energy to experience that with you.
Mm.
And
And I
you
told,
happen to be working on this stuff at this time.
right? Yeah,
It's
no,
like
I
when you're
was,
really really willing and earnest about this stuff, things will show up and you may not even realize it. And you'll be like, "Whoa." Things will show up to help you in weird ass ways and obvious
yeah.
ways too, but don't waste it and have extreme gratitude to her and yourself and this whole thing for being able to do it as much
Hmm.
as you can, you know?
Yeah, I really had to override the initial bit of like, don't cry in front of a lady.
Yeah.
Don't you dare. Like, and I was like,
Watch
nope.
out for the
Yeah,
shouldn'ts
yeah,
and
no,
the shoulds,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I had that come up. I was like, nope, you're gonna cry like a little girl who lost her dolly. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Exactly right. That's the openness you want for sure. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it worked out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always love
Um,
talking to you, Jack. You're so like
yeah,
earnest and real about it.
yeah. I I think almost the lack of spiritual language has made it somehow like less confusing.
Yeah.
Like so when I found you and Alyssa, it was just like very clear, and it was like there's less for me to cut through because I haven't absorbed a lot of other confusing concepts. Like I think that was just kind of fortunate timing, and then just the kind of the Australian sense of it would be the blokiness.
Mhm.
Like you have that kind of like blokiness about it. I'm just like, all right,
Okay.
let's go, and we're gonna do this.
That's the conditions that I'm made of for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other one was I don't know why, but I want to recommend some like books, but they're not like spiritual books. They're
Hmm.
kind of like science philosophy books, but about consciousness. But I haven't quite figured out like because you were asking like for the reasons,
Yeah.
and at this point, it's just like an urge. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of holding off on that, and I'm
That's
gonna
good.
like eventually I'll try to come up with a. But there's something about like when I hear people, it's that having sensation and then going into thought mechanism, and then what that might be from. And I kind of always have, or not always, I've been thinking that language was something we developed to speak to each other about, and it was usually about doing stuff,
Yeah.
getting things,
Yeah.
building stuff, going. Um, and your eyes and your ears and your tongue are senses to translate the external world in some way,
Mhm.
but your energy is coming from everything. Like your heart has energy and your lungs and your liver, and every single cell is always talking all the time. And sometimes I wonder if the energy, those other kinds of energies come up and through the kind of brain that uses language all the time, kind of has to make it into something that is language based rather than just like leaving it alone.
It's
That,
organizational, but it can be intuitive. It
yeah,
can be telepathic, even. It can be, to me,
right.
it's all energy. The sound waves,
Hmm.
energy, the sounds that we make that construct language. And then there's foreign languages that people don't understand and
Hmm.
nuances to that. And it's like there's all kinds of there's communication with body language, with eye movements, with facial expressions, like uh all of that. To me, it's all energy. And it's like the way something's organized can automatically make us think that's the way it is because like whenever you go to like Angelo's double barrels or circling or anything you see, he always like what's feeling in your body because people construct the, oh, I need to go in my body, and that's true, but that's because thought has always been the main driver of experience, so it's going down in the body, but that's not the end all be all. It's just another way of organizing what you're doing with your experience. So someone like you hasn't looked at thoughts either,
Hmm.
bring both in. And I discovered that when we did that one-on-one at night that time, that you were, oh, Jack's not looking at thoughts very much because you said, I don't have thoughts. And I'm like, you got thoughts.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You definitely have thoughts going on. But the openness and willingness to look at it and the way you've been bringing it in. So try to just expand your idea of the body and what the body is. And like that
Hmm.
energy doesn't, I mean, you're right, energy contained in each of the organs and each of the things, but its energy is everywhere and it's not
Hmm.
necessarily contained in your body like that ocean aliveness video I made. It's everywhere and it's permeating. Like the body is an appearance in
In
consciousness,
that.
appearance, and just like the computer and the coffee cup and everything else, and the nerve endings or whatever connects it, it's like feel
Hmm.
directly in whatever way this consciousness is organizing that. But just don't
And
don't
that's.
limit it to I'm feeling this in my body all the time, and it's only in
Hmm.
my body. Think of it more expansively as the field, and you can take it in, and you could take the thoughts in from your little child experience, and you could take the emotion in at the same time. Doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other, and you can take them both,
Right.
feel them, and let them play, and then feel that
Yeah.
crying, go deeper, look for the should or shouldn'ts about I shouldn't
So
cry.
I'm still burdened with even my science philosophy viewpoint. So
No, it's not a
I
burden.
didn't,
It's good, but
or yeah,
it's just another,
it's
like
like
I said at the
consensual
beginning,
system. Yeah.
it's a way of looking at reality that is both right and wrong.
Yeah.
It is a given way to look at it, and it may not be the only way that it exists.
Hmm.
It's just a perception of a perspective. So
Hmm.
it's like all the arguing about, oh, this is this and this is that. It's like maybe you don't need to do it. Maybe it's the both and
Hmm.
neither.
Yeah. It's all good
Yeah, don't discard it.
if it
Just
if
don't
it
let it
helps.
just don't let it solidify you into a view that that's the only way. Be open
Hmm.
to looking at things the other way. You know,
Hmm.
to me, it's energy and it's like energetic and it's vibrations and it's pulsing and humming and that's what intuition is to me. Is like feeling into the hums and the vibrations of what's going on, and then being like, oh, what have I made that mean with my thoughts?
Right.
How have I flavored that and made it mean something? Oh, I made it mean this. Well, let me deconstruct it and make it not mean that. And then you free up
Hmm.
that
So
energy.
is that kind of like roughly like projection?
Yeah, projection.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Like,
projecting your ideas about the world and then you're experiencing your mind out there.
yeah. Yeah.
Somebody might think Jack is an asshole, and another person like Jack's the greatest guy ever. But why? Is that true?
No.
How can they both be true? It's that projection of
Yeah.
their relationship with you. Maybe you got, I can't tell you how many times I've got off on the wrong foot with a dude at work when I used to work and be
Mm-hmm.
like, and he said something fucked up to me, and I'm like, this guy's a prick. And in my view, this guy's a prick. And then he says something to me later, I'm like, go eat shit. And then he's like, this guy's a prick. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you can, some people start off with that wrong foot, and their entire relationship is like that because
Yeah.
they never let it go, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. But then I've had those where I started off on the wrong foot, and then one of my best friends now started off on the wrong foot the first day, and then about a month
Perfect.
later of working together, we started talking about something, movies or something, and they were like, "Hey," and now that's been reset, and then he's like one of my best friends now for 15 years. But if I had stayed in that
Perfect.
view,
Mm-hmm.
it's like every opinion is right and every opinion is bullshit. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's funny. It's just funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
But keep working on that stuff and check in, let me know how that's going.
Yeah, will do. I definitely have I think it's the first time where like I have a sense of how I might get this rolling.
Hmm.
Up until last night, it was always like, how do these like weird little flashes of imagery even come? Like it was so rare that anything like that would happen and do something.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm starting to feel into, I guess, a way of opening space for that or allowing it, or I don't know how to say that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it felt good because I felt kind of stagnant for a while there. And I definitely like with the last week or so in the chat, you guys all talk so much. By the end of the day, I'm like, oh shit, like, like I'm trying to catch up on what
See, for
everyone is
me,
saying.
this is what I want. This is what I want people to do. For me,
Mm,
even if you don't read any other part of the chat or you're too far away, type in there and let me
mm,
know what you're doing, what your experience and
right,
your beliefs are. And then I can respond to you. Even if you can't read everybody else's, you can't read all the shit I post in there. I'm helping you.
right.
So put that in there. Just like Sean will put something in there and he'll go away for a day or two. Or he'll come back.
Hmm.
And that's what I like. That's what I want. He's participating. It's not ruling his life. He's not worried about seeing everything in the moment as it's happening. He saves what he wants to read and he reads it later. And
Right.
that's
I
the
have
dynamic I want the group to be. But if you put that in the group, even if you're not discussing it with other people, people can see your beliefs, and then I can
right.
respond to you, and we can have a one on one. But it's not a one on one in typing by ourselves. If something's real personal,
Right.
I don't mind that at all. But if you put
Hmm.
it there, even if you're not responding to others, they can see, they can learn, oh wow, this is dynamic and alive, and it keeps that intensity going. And then you read
Hmm.
what you can read and let go of the rest.
Cool. No, that's really helpful because I think I have like a belief where it's like, oh shit, like if I respond with what I'm doing and a bunch of people have been saying stuff, I'm gonna make everyone feel ignored or like I'm not listening to them, and that's like a bad thing to do. That
Yeah.
makes
Well, I
me kind
mean,
of,
well, we all catch
yeah,
up on the Zoom and people understand that. You know what I mean? People
yeah.
understand and then if someone feels compelled to respond to you directly, they can type in your name in the chat and say,
Hmm.
Jack, this really helped me. Thank you. And you can respond to them. You know what I mean? I'm going to change the Telegram too, the way I do things. I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to post like one thing and then I'm going to be like, what do y'all think of this? And then also people can talk about their direct experience instead of, I've just been throwing shit out there that I like and discussing it with whoever wants to discuss it. But I'm going to
Hmm.
change the strategy of it as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, bro.
Hmm.
Okay, Joanna.
Hi, Tony. Good to see you. Good to see everybody.
I saw you yesterday in Alma's recording. I watched a little bit of it.
Oh, you
And then I
did.
saw you. Yep.
Saw me crying. Yay. I'm always crying in people's recording.
It's okay.
So, things are crazy. I feel very stoned. Um, had a whole bunch of weird experiences. Um, Yesterday, I rode my motorcycle for the first time since things got wobbly. And initially, I was scared, but I just took it like down the road to the shop. So I was like, I'm gonna do this first to see if it's dangerous, and it
Mhm.
wasn't. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I told him, it's like, no, motorcycle's fine. So I went further, and I'm in Brazil. Motorcyclists are really crazy. When cars start to like go slowly, we go in between the cars, right? So there's a whole bunch of just like
Yeah.
yeah. I like a lot of movement, and this whenever I used to do it, I kind of only did it when cars were basically standing still, like when traffic was really heavy, because I was so scared of like there's just so many moving parts. It's really dangerous. Um, and this time it was so weird. It felt like everything was 2D except the exact spot I was in.
Mm.
Like I was riding, and somehow I was aware of everything that was happening. Like something was steering the thing, but
Mm.
everything else was just like, I don't know, like a movie screen or like a drawing. Like I'm moving through the drawing, but everything except like the immediate wherever I am is just like a painting or something.
Yeah,
So
I've
weird.
described it as a painting that never dries.
Except, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
and it
just all
reminded
of it
me.
moves and it's very kaleidoscopic. And the 2D part you're talking about can be more like the beginning of non-dual, and then that relaxes. It's like a non-grasping of the field. And then it kind of just goes, it's just like a, it's like,
Uh huh.
yeah.
Okay. It was a really weird experience. Um, and sometimes it feels like things are kind of 3D, but whatever attention kind of picks out kind of pops out into like a more colorful, like it's more I don't know, it's not more colorful, but it feels like somehow it's more colorful than other stuff. It's like a popping out,
Yeah.
these little.
It doesn't cause any problems for you, does it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think what I would say about that is that just the less that you can get your thoughts involved, the better. Like perceive those
Yeah,
correctly. That just try to go into the sensations, even the whole scenery, the sensation of that, and the sound, and try to
yeah,
go into that with as little commentary, perceptions, perceptual talking about it as you can for a while, and just let it breathe, let it relax into your experience. The thinking
yeah,
about it and dissecting it can be pushing it away.
yeah,
Let it
yeah.
become you, let it replace you, let it become you, and then
Okay.
look for the pointing back. Do you feel a pointing back to you like this? Like a singular, like a center? Do you feel a center to your experience still?
I I I did. Um,
Yeah.
Before this call, I kind of meditated, and now it feels like it's kind of around here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like before, I had a center feeling that kind of went up and down sometimes,
Yeah.
and now it's like before I laughed, and it felt like the whole universe was laughing.
Hmm. That's total exertion. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
It's a Dogen term. It means like the entire universe conspires to make one sensation, and then you are aware of that, but not as a center. You are the sensation appearing and then disappearing.
Yeah,
Um, that
yeah.
like
So
the main thing I would say to you about all of this is just relax, 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 ungrasp, ungrasp. Don't you
yeah,
don't don't try to look for this. If there's a center and there's a grabbing, maybe occasionally ask yourself like what's what's referring but what is it referring back to, or is there a
yeah,
line here where this is becomes this. Is there any difference in actuality? Something like that, and then
Yeah.
just look and don't look for an answer. Just look into the literal raw sensations you're seeing and
There it is.
feeling, tasting
Yeah.
and touching and hearing,
Yeah.
and then just let it replace the center. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
the centerless experience is like, I was driving and the it was all centerless, completely centerless. It's not like that for me all the time, but a lot
Yeah.
of times it will be completely centerless, like period. And then there's that little grabby fish hooky that I see and I relax and I've been working with it for a long time now, so I don't even inquire. I know how to. It's just natural. But
Uh-huh.
and I don't care. The best thing is don't worry about it either. Don't make it a thing. You already are that, so don't make it a
I've,
thing.
I've had beliefs come up like, oh, when you are like this, you are really slow, and being slow is a problem. And then, like, conceptually, this made no sense to me. So it's like, you are the one kind of slowing it down. So
Yeah,
that
the
makes no
mental
sense.
dissecting is slowing it down, but that could be part of the processing of letting it go. So that's fine. That's totally fine.
Sometimes I feel like things are happening. It's like there's this quite considerable space between things happening and comment on it.
Yeah,
It's like things are happening and the commenting is just like delayed, like accompanying it like delayed like that.
yeah.
It's really weird.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Is there intensity there for you, like any kind of underlying intensity, or is it relaxed? Or see, for
There's
me, when I had the non-dual realization and retreat, and I had that gigantic amount of energy, just like it's like that's part of the reason why I'm kind of intense now because it's not ever dissipated all the way. It's kind of like
uh-huh,
always like a pulsing kind of like, and I'm kind of always like, it's not anxiety. I mean, I have anxiety separate that I've had my whole
uh-huh,
life, but this is not anxiety. This is the vibrance. This is the luminosity or the intensity of
uh-huh,
the field of life
uh-huh.
of the power of consciousness or whatever you want to say. It's energetic and it's always there for me, and that's sometimes why I'm kind of like, yeah. That's just the way it is. Maybe it'll change and relax. I don't know if it will or not, but I don't care. Whatever. It's just what it is.
I noticed I've like I recognized this from 10 years ago when I took psychedelics like a lot for like a summer. It was like one summer I was just like, oh, I'm going to try it all. So I recognized the feeling. And when I was trying to like resist the whole, like the intensity, it got really scary really fast. I was like, oh, yeah, you're resisting it. And like as soon as I'm like, ooh, this is really cool. This is really fascinating. Like I approach it from that way. Like I do feel it feels like pressure, but when I lean into it, it's like extremely relaxing, as if like the general weight of the atmosphere just got like double or triple the size,
Yeah.
and it's just so relaxing.
Oh yeah. Whenever I'm centerless, completely centerless, that energy
Yeah,
I'm talking about, it goes way out and it's fine and I feel great. It's like a very relaxing
yeah,
whenever it gets that. And then if it comes back a little bit, then I'm like, "Oh, there it is." There's that energy and it's like intense, can be
uh-huh.
intense.
Yeah, yeah. What is weird is I want to like I'm my body is still like figuring out how to move with
Mhm.
it. Like there's a whole bunch of, oh, I just want to lie on the ground, like be it like I'm like leaning into the seat or something because I think there is still like grasping in the way of like if I try to move my body like that, it'll start like vibrating and shaking and
Mhm.
things. Or then I'd have to do it like really slowly for kind of the mind to be able to like compute whatever's happening while it's happening. It's a bit strange.
I wouldn't do
But
that
I
on a
have
motorcycle though.
handstands before. I've tried it out and it works. So I guess body is still working.
Yeah, yeah.
so,
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What did you
No,
say?
I just said I wouldn't try it on the motorcycle though, for a while. You know what I mean?
I wasn't trying it. It felt a lot like it happened by itself when I got like
Well,
a
that's
bit
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
scared.
But I mean, like, don't practice on the motorcycle in the sense of like, I'm going to
Oh yeah.
expand or I'm going to,
Oh
just let it be
no.
whatever it is because
I
that
really don't
distraction can
like
be,
it. Yeah.
yeah, it can make you
Yeah.
run up on curves or hit something or,
Yeah, because I do feel like I try it at home and like for example when I type, I just type all sorts of weird stuff. Like I can still the word still comes out like letters or you know, or like the spoon it just goes somewhere. It clearly is a bit like not very like the aim is not 100%.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's it. I mean, like the main thing to keep in mind at all times with this stuff is not grasp, relax.
Yeah,
Just put the shields down and let reality take over. It is already. So just let that resistance fall.
yeah,
Feel any need to control it or to investigate it, fine, but any need to pull, push, control, grab, relax, and immediately see that's resistance, and then let it drop, and then see what happens. And just keep feeling
yeah.
and let just feel into that part of it.
hmm Sometimes I feel um like it's not like it goes away, but it like gets covered up by stuff that is a bit like pale gray and a bit tightened, and um it's probably selfing or something, I guess maybe.
It's always self.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It's a resistance or a controlly grabby
yeah,
urge.
yeah. And so it can like if I'm going like let's say I take the motorcycle, then I talk to a bunch of people and like several stimulus don't really that I haven't really encountered that way, and they have like this they bring the selfing up in a way. Um, it'll kind of install directly, it'll just stay until I like realize, oh wait, I don't actually need to do that.
Yeah.
And well, you know what you told me about like the don't help, don't advise, don't something
Mhm.
thing for like 30 days. Who it's so cool because I realized like I tie myself into stuff I don't want to do or like to do out of habit. Like when I realized I was like, why exactly am I not just not leaving? And then I was like, I can leave. I guess I can leave. And then
Anytime you don't do the normal stuff you've been doing, you're going to expose a
yeah,
belief
yeah.
because you're going to have the urge to do what you always done. So if you hold
Yeah,
back, you're going to see your beliefs like boom, like inexperience, like right away.
yeah.
And then you're going to see other people's reaction to not using your beliefs in the way you normally do. Like you saw with that dude.
Sometimes there is no other people's reaction. That's the thing. Like the other people's reaction are actually in my mind. Like nothing's happening yet.
Sometimes it is that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
You expect them to be the way they always were. Yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting because it really feels like it feels like a castle, something that's kind of been in place. And then and it tells me, oh, I am fear of disapproval or something. But it is kind of just like an inertia thing, just like just like
Mhm.
dusty something, you know? It's not actually fear of disapproval. This is just a dusty thing that's just there.
You want to see something really weird. If you're talking to a
Uh,
friend or somebody that you know for a while, go into the sensations as much as you can while you're speaking to them, their sensations, their sounds,
uh,
their face, their
uh,
movements, and see them without your ideas about them. You're going to see an
uh.
alien creature you've never seen before. You're going to be like, oh, shit, this movement is like a weird bulging eyes. It's gonna be like very fucking strange, very strange. But the more that's immediacy. The more you live in that, think about the less judgments you would have on your partner and the aliveness with your friends, family, or your partner. The less judgments and aliveness and like love and like spontaneous, like holy shit, this living, miraculous, weird looking thing with funky eyes and a beard and a
Yeah.
I've never seen it before. Or like, it's like, and then quickly you'll grab and you'll quickly see like, oh, this is this guy or girl or whatever. But it's like I do that all the time. It's like a practice just for fun. And it's like it's strange. It's very strange.
It is very strange, and also like when I go into this very very deep relaxation, I've only like actually been able to access that like kind of either lying on my back or kind of sitting. It starts to become kind of see-through.
Mm-hmm.
Things are just like, how can I describe this? Why I'm doing that? Why my hands are so funny. um, it's like there's a shiny texture. This is just like woven through all of the things that I see. It's not like I can see whatever's behind the thing. Like, it's not see-through in that sense, but it's like just not very solid.
Yeah.
It feels like it's not there. It clearly is, but it doesn't feel like it is, you know?
A full-on non-dual, like when you're full-on centerless non-dual, it feels like when you look at things, especially after like on a time, you look at things, it feels like they're transparent or they're buzzing. They're like a solidified energy that's just solidified enough to look like a shape or something like that. To me, that's
Yeah,
the way
yeah. And you can tell it's wanting to have
they
like
don't really have edges. They don't. It's hard to tell what's further apart than like if I look at my side of my computer right now on the wall behind it, the edges,
yeah,
the time, some of the space about that's way further back is distorted. It's like more like removing the painting that does are dry, kind of like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's very
also
warm and
these
nice.
paper things that the paper, like for little kids, oftentimes you have these books that are just like paper cutouts that like you open it and it becomes like a castle or put a princess or something. It
Yeah.
also sometimes is like that. Like this is all flat and then stuff just shows up like that. It's just very funny.
So for now, just try like I said, always remember, relax, relax, relax. Try not to grab, don't grasp. Keep that in mind all the time while you're working on this stuff. And I'll just do that for a bit. And
Like, am I like actually trying in a sense? Like, am I doing this all the time, or is it actually a good idea to just be like, oh no, when I work, I use myself. When I drive my motorcycle, I use the self.
well, yeah, I mean, contract when you need to for work. And so for now, I mean, at some point you won't have to contract at all, but for now, do what you need to do.
That was my question about like it feels the natural thing is to like let it seep into whatever is going on as much as it kind of feels safe or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Do it as much as it feels safe. And at some
Yeah.
point it won't matter, but for now it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get the Ryan. I'm already over time, but let me get the Ryan before we leave. But just keep
Yeah.
doing that. Just keep doing the non-grasping. Report in the group about it. And, Telegram, let me know how that's going.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks,
yeah.
everybody.
Ryan, I think it's your first time, isn't it?
It's my first time in the Zoom. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Just a really interesting thing. Whenever I put my hand up, it reminded me of circling. And I don't know if every group does it the same, but for inside circle, when you light the candle, there's the candle in the middle of the room, you light the candle. My heart rate jumped really fast.
Yeah.
And I kind of had this whole experience while you're talking to Johanna, just like all these emotions coming up, and um, yeah, just feeling like the sadness arising, and um, I I'm just so tired of living my life in and suffering the way that I have, and I feel stuck so much of the time, and like overtaken by the power of thought, and
Mhm.
yeah, so just a lot of feeling right now.
Good. That means if you're feeling a lot right now, then you're in the right place. As far as, I don't mean because of me, but I mean, you found something inside you that's ready to look, right? Otherwise, you might be stuffing them down or distracting or whatever. And, um, what you posted in the group the other night about your kids and all that time, and that was you, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. The householder stuff is a lot, especially with three kids and whatever work you do and all that kind of stuff. But it is also the essence of life, and you can use that for practice every moment of the day. You know, and you do have to get tired of suffering enough to change. Until that point comes, most people won't change because if you're not suffering enough, then your loop feels very comfortable. And if you're suffering a decent amount, but your loop still feels comfortable enough, you probably won't change. But if you're suffering enough and you're like really tired of listening to my mind, there's the gasoline to change. And that's what brings you forth to look at your beliefs and feel your feelings and accept that your mind doesn't have the right answers and willing to look and be in the unknown and all that kind of stuff. So that's great. I mean, do you have a question in particular about that, or do you just want to say that?
No, I just, again, it's kind of like what I posted in the group. It's like, um, and I think Mark actually, in the one-on-one that you posted with him, it's
Yeah.
like this tendency to disengage, just like hang back and disengage. And there's like a part of me that wants to engage, and there's part of me that's like, fuck that, like let's just hang back here. It's comfortable. And
Yeah, disengaging is a protection for sure. And sometimes disengaging is good. I mean, sometimes you do need to. Like, there's times I got to disengage and I want to be by myself and be alone. And that's how I recharge. And I do whatever. I watch something I want to watch, or I exercise, or I do whatever, or I don't do anything. That could be good. It's not always bad. But if you're not participating in life and you actually want to and you're disengaging, then there's a protection, that you need
yeah,
to uncover.
yeah, I think that's it. It's like there's like this small voice that's like, let's get in there,
Mm.
and I don't listen to that most of the time, or a lot of the time. It's happened many times where it's just like, just hang back, stay comfortable. I don't have to engage. I don't have to put myself out there, so I don't. But it felt
You said
important.
the little voice is telling you to engage. Is that what you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that's the small voice that I hear, but it's so easy to ignore.
That's what Jed McKenna calls the little bastard. He calls it the little bastard within. He won't leave you alone. He might go away for a bit, but he's always going to come back because he's like, you're not living life. You're not doing you're not doing, and then that can be a thought too that's telling you that may not even be true. But the little bastard within is more an intuitive hit. It's not a thought. It's the urge of life to life itself fully, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and I felt like it was confirmed a little bit whenever I did put my hand up, and then I felt scared, like it freaked me out. When my
Mhm.
heart rate jumped, I was looking at my watch, like my heart like doubled. My heart rate doubled in like a few seconds.
Wish everybody could know. I bet most people understand this on a certain level, but I really wish people can take to heart that everybody feels that way. And you just This is the part that feels more like a battle or feels more like a warrior energy is you just fucking step into it anyway. And that's what you did. You raised your hand today, you put it in the chat. That is a beginning. That is saying I'm willing to look. That's true earnestness. And then your mind will probably yell and say all kinds of stuff and tell you to distract or tell you whatever it'll tell you. But when you're in a group like this, that urge to say my double my heart rate, and it's like, yeah, you're preparing. You can look at it a certain way too, as like scared or like fear, but you can also look at it as preparing and galvanizing yourself to do the work you need to do. When I used to do Muay Thai and I used to fight in Muay Thai, that's what the pre-fight thing was. Everybody's scared. The biggest guys, the meanest guys are scared. I saw them all in the backstage. All of us, you're scared. You're going to get hit in the face or kicked but there's also like the punching your gloves and the moving around and getting your body moving and your heart rate's pounding. There's stepping into it to prepare for the fight, for the thing. And then once I got in the ring, as soon as the bell rang, that shit was gone. Every single time it was gone. So every time you step in and start and your bell rings in this group and you're talking, it'll go away pretty fast, especially when you realize everyone is that way. We're all afraid of this stuff. Everybody.
Yeah.
20-second interruption because it was so specific. I can't not. I do exactly the same thing. I check the watch. I don't know if you can see like even for this comment. So completely relate.
I totally believe you check your watch for your heart rate. I totally believe that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I guess I don't think of it so much like I remember the same thing happening in sports. Like I played soccer and basketball growing up, and at every game, every soccer game, every basketball game, I would call it scared, but yeah, I think that reframe is helpful too. Like you just your body preparing,
Mhm.
and but I don't think of that like in normal life anymore. It's like that time of my life has passed. I still feel it, but I don't think anybody else does.
Yeah. And this is where like it can be hard because the way that I come from, this shouldn't be like a battle. Like you don't fight the mind, you don't fight. But for me, there's also the masculine urge to go, to interact. And that's not fighting necessarily. It's more like I'm willing to do whatever I need to do. It's like I posted in the group not long ago, the Jon Snow thing where he's in Game of Thrones where he's holding the sword and all those horses and men are coming at him and he's just like and he's like at the beginning he's just like looking, he's like knows he's gonna die. And he's like, all right. And he pulls a sword out and he throws his scabbard on the ground. He didn't think he'll ever need it again. And he just says, let's go. That's the energy of the motion of stepping into this uncomfortable shit. And when you do, you find out it's not a big deal, not nearly as much as you thought. And as you're talking, it's like blah 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 blah. And as you're talking, you feel the energy rising. It's everywhere. It's like oh. But you start talking, and you keep talking, and it just goes. It's like oh, it's okay, you know. And that's what it takes to see the truth of this stuff. But also it's like a lot. And then also you're like, it's not a big deal. I just did it. You did it now. I'm sure in some level, talking to me for a few minutes now, it's settled somewhat. Even if it's still there, it's not as drastic, right?
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah,
solid. Not
yeah. It
solid.
feels almost back to normal.
Yeah, it's just the belief. And you step in and people will step in a little bit and then they'll go, oh hell, I'm not putting my toe in that water. And that's okay. But you got to keep putting the toe in the water. And then you got to put the foot in there. You just got to fucking dive in. Some people just dive in and they don't care. And that's great. And some people can't do that. I couldn't do that with certain things. And certain things I could. I wasn't deathly afraid to get in the ring and get somebody punch me in the face, but I was deathly afraid to look at my emotions, which seems like not a big deal, right? Seems like, oh, that shouldn't be nothing. But it's the way we structure, it's the way we view reality that makes it that way. So, big kudos for doing it, especially in the first Zoom where most people know each other and you're here. But you have very quickly now become the same as everyone because you stepped into it and are talking. So
Ryan, I
that's
just want
awesome.
to endorse. Is that okay, Tony? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
How dare you? Go
I
ahead.
know. Sorry. Ryan, I just want to yeah, also endorse and applaud what you just said there, because you acknowledged that, like, and you said it, and I really heard what you said in the group the other night too, in your longer post, that there comes a time when the like the the rumbling discomfort of suffering that's always there for staying the same and continuing to stay whatever disengaged or numbing is what I would have said that I was doing, kind of numbing and um keeping those protections up. And I would have said too, out of fear. I like the reframe about preparing. um but you know, next time that comes up, you can remember, like, do I want to stay like this, or have I had enough, and am I willing to, like you're doing right now, raise your hand and take whatever step it is to be authentic and honest and say, I don't want to live like this anymore. That's just humongous. And like Tony and I talk about all the time, it's not where everybody gets to. And I found for me, over many years and cycles of this stuff, um, it became inevitable. It was like, if I don't look at this, it's never going to stop coming back up. How much longer, how much older do I want to be? How many more lifetimes, if you were to put it in that frame of reference, like, it's going to keep coming back up, because it's like truth. You cannot look away. And if it gets loud enough, the suffering of ignoring it becomes so great that it demands something. It'll take something, or you'll have to, step into it. I felt pretty crazy when I was still trying to cover that over. And finally, I had enough and, was willing to do whatever it takes. And that willingness, which I think you started talking about at the beginning, Tony, the willingness and the earnestness.
I'm always talking about it.
Me too.
Everybody needs to be reminded, I think,
Oh
including you.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say that was really a great reminder, and it will remind you now, I think, because you know the difference. Like, you can turn away and try to quiet it, but it won't work. And that's grace, even though it's hard.
Thank you.
Yeah, really glad you're here, Ryan.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here. I love this. Love this group. I love your earnestness and intensity.
Yeah,
I really do.
it is a great group. Yeah. Okay. That was a great one. So, Mark, I'm still going to haggle you. You better start talking some more when you feel like it.
Well, I'm ready. I'm wanting to do a Zoom with you probably here this week. So not a Zoom, but yeah, a one-on-one.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks everybody. Great.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. All right, everybody. I'll
Thanks.
see you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.